There are moments in life when time slows down, when the world becomes quiet, and a single sentence has the power to change everything. This story begins with such a sentence, softly spoken, fragile, yet echoing like thunder inside the heart of the one who heard it. She said, "I don't think I'll see next year." And he looked at her, unable to breathe, unable to blink, unable to believe that fate could ever be so cruel. Her voice trembled not with fear, but with an acceptance he could not understand. And as the sky painted itself in hues of orange and violet, he held her the way a soul holds onto a prayer, held her like the embrace itself could rewrite the destiny written in silence. Aeon had known Hera for years, but in that moment, he realized how little he truly understood the human heart and the fragile threads that tie us to this world. She had always been a quiet soul, gentle, observant, carrying an old wisdom in her smile that made people stop and wonder who she really was. But over the past few months, something deep within her had shifted, like a candle burning in its final hours, glowing more softly, yet more beautifully than ever before. She had begun to stare at the sky with longing, not for the world above, but for a peace she felt approaching. And though she never spoke of it, Aeon sensed something in her silence, a secret waiting to be released. When she finally whispered those words, "I don't think I'll see next year," Aeon's hands instinctively reached for hers. He held them tightly, as though warmth alone could anchor her spirit here a little longer. But she looked at him with eyes full of acceptance, deep, ancient, and calm. "Aeon," she said softly, "my soul has been feeling something I can't explain. It's not a sickness, it's not fear, it's a knowing." He struggled to swallow his rising panic. His heart screamed for answers he wasn't ready to hear. He wanted to argue, to deny, to shout at fate, but her expression softened him. Instead, he asked gently, "What do you feel, Hera?" She smiled faintly, as if remembering a secret only her soul understood. "I feel like my journey is completing. Like I'm packing my spiritual bags. Like my soul is preparing for something beyond this world." Aeon's world cracked. He wasn't ready for this. He wasn't ready to lose the one person who had taught him so much without ever trying. But destiny does not wait for readiness, it arrives when it must. And Hera's calm acceptance only deepened his fear. Yet she tilted her head, touched his cheek, and whispered, "Don't hold on to me out of fear. Hold on to the lessons we shared. Hold on to faith." From that day, he made a promise to fill every moment with presence, with meaning, with light. He took her to all the places she loved. To the riverside where water whispered secrets of the universe. To the old tree elders described as a place where prayers were heard. To the small hill overlooking the town, where the night lights looked like tiny stars fallen to earth. And as they walked, talked, and breathed in the world together, something unexpected happened, not to her, but to him. He began to see life the way she saw it, not through the lens of fear or loss, but through the eyes of the soul, eyes that recognize beauty even in endings. One evening, as they sat beneath the ancient tree, a soft breeze played with the leaves above. Hera leaned against the trunk, her voice barely more than a whisper. "Aeon, have you ever felt that your soul is older than your body?" He looked at her, confused and heartbroken, but nodded slowly. "Yes, sometimes," she smiled. "Mine feels ancient lately, as if it has lived its purpose and is ready to go home. Not in sadness, not in fear, just ready." He felt tears forming. He wanted to tell her that she was his home, that she was his purpose. But she reached out and placed her hand on his chest. "Aeon, your journey is bigger than me. And mine may be coming to its close." Her words pierced him, yet strangely, they also carried a velvet softness, like truth wrapped in love. For the first time, he sensed that this wasn't just about losing her. It was about finding something within himself he had long forgotten. A few days later, she woke him before dawn. Her voice was urgent, but not afraid. She led him outside, where the night had not fully surrendered to day. The world was still dark, except for a single bright star shining intensely above the horizon. "Look," she whispered. Aeon looked up, and the star glimmered as if it had been waiting just for them. "That's a sign," she said. "Every soul has its own light. And when its journey is complete, its light doesn't disappear. It simply changes realms." Aeon felt tears slide down his cheek. "I can't lose your light," he whispered. Hera squeezed his hand gently. "You won't. My light will follow you." As days passed, Aeon found himself torn between hope and despair. He prayed at night, sometimes silently, sometimes with trembling hands. "God, Please give her more time. Please. But deep inside, he understood that some souls sense their nearing transition long before the world does. And Hera's serenity only confirmed what he feared. She was preparing, not for death, but for a homecoming. One rainy evening, she finally shared her dream. Aeon, she said as raindrops traced the window, I saw an old woman in a garden of light. She told me, child, your journey is almost complete. But before you return, you must teach someone how to live with an open heart. Aeon's breath caught. Teach who? She smiled sadly. You. Her voice carried both love and destiny. You hold too tightly to life. Too tightly to people. You fear losing what you love. But love isn't meant to be held with fists, it's meant to flow, like water, like breath, like light. Aeon felt something break inside him, not with pain, but with awakening. He had always been afraid. Afraid of abandonment, afraid of emptiness, afraid of losing what he loved. But Hera, she lived without fear. She embraced life and death with the same gentle acceptance. And now she was passing that wisdom to him. She began teaching him spiritual practices. Meditation, breathing with awareness, listening to silence, surrender, trust. She taught him that the soul is eternal, that love does not die, that endings are illusions created by the human mind. We're all just travelers, she whispered one evening. Some stay longer, some leave earlier, but all souls return to the same light. One night, the inevitable happened. They were beneath the stars, sitting together just as they always did. Hera rested her head on his shoulder and exhaled softly. Aeon felt her body grow lighter in his arms. Hera, he whispered, but she didn't respond. Her breathing slowed, her eyes fluttered open one last time, shining with gratitude, peace, and something divine. Aeon, she whispered weakly, thank you for holding me like it was forever. A tear rolled down her cheek. But forever is not in the body, it's in the soul. He held her desperately, crying into her hair. Please, please stay. But she touched his cheek gently. I'm not leaving, I'm just changing form. Her final breath was not a breath of fear, it was a release, like a soul stepping through a doorway only she could see. And at the same moment, the bright star above them flared intensely, as if welcoming her home. Aeon held her lifeless body in his trembling arms, but he felt something else too, a calmness surrounding him, a soft warmth in the air, like her spirit. Lingering to comfort him, the weeks that followed were hard. Aeon felt empty, broken, wandering through life with hollow steps. But slowly, very slowly, Hera's teachings began to awaken within him. In meditation, he felt a warmth. In silence, he felt presence. And one evening, while sitting by the river they loved, he closed his eyes and breathed deeply. He felt a soft breeze on his face. And then he heard it, soft, faint, but unmistakably her. Aeon, my light has not left you. His heart trembled, tears slid down his face, not of sorrow, but of realization. She had been right, love does not end, souls do not vanish, they transform, they evolve, they return in whispers, in signs, in memories that glow like warm lanterns in the night. Aeon began sharing her teachings with others. He spoke of faith, surrender, inner peace. He used his pain to help heal others. And every time he looked at the sky and saw that single bright star, he whispered, thank you, Hera. You didn't see the next year, but you gave me the rest of my life. In her departure, she gifted him a beginning. In her silence, she taught him how to truly listen. In her peace, she taught him how to live without fear. And in her love, she showed him that the soul never dies.